Barak Yahweh, Barak Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Ukagadash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. I want to say salutations to the hopeful elect, the Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the Pre-Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled, Women Won't Be Picky in the Coming Days. Quote unquote picky. Or selective. Because right now in this self-created crisis, fucking U.S. government, right, that is making the rich richer, destroying the middle class, and letting those who didn't have any money suffer even more. You know, that's the nature of a devil. You know, that's the nature of one that is deceptive. One that is a false accuser. So-called white man, his brothers call him E. That's short for Esau, by the way. That's what he's referred to in the Bible. That's his nationality. Nation of Edom. With this crisis, he's increasing his wealth, doing wealth allocation, collapsing the middle class. People are going foreclosed on homes, foreclosed on businesses, and while the richest is buying it up and prolonging this crisis with false information. Okay, let's put things in perspective. 2017, 80,000 people died during the flu season. From 2019 till now, we're not even close to 60. So death is not going up. It seems like everybody nowadays is dying from the coronavirus. You know, nobody dies of a heart attack nowadays. If he dies because of coronavirus, that's being propagated by the U.S. media to create this fear-mongering society where people are behaving highly irrational. Prime example, they're restricting the amount of milk you can buy while farmers are dishing them extra milk they have. So it's no shortage of milk, but it's false created. You know, that's just one example of some of the BS that's going on right now. And look, this thing that the so-called white man is doing is not going to last forever. All right, he will get put in his place by the Heavenly Father and His Son. And as prophets, we're here to tell you, look, things are only going to get worse in the distant future. All right, not too distant future. And what do I mean worse? I mean, look, it's going to come a time where you're not going to be washing your hands and putting hand sanitizer on to eat some chicken or eat some. You're going to be fucking trying to eat whatever you can, whatever is edible. That's how hard things are going to get out here, man. You think waiting on line is some type of crisis? That's not shit, man. All right, what the Most High got in store for this place, all right? Scriptures speak about famine. Scriptures speak about a time that has not yet been. So great a time that has not yet been. Jeremiah 30:7, Daniel 12:1, Jacob's trouble. This is nowhere close to Jacob's trouble, all right? Now it's leading up to it. You know, you hear Donald Trump speaking about the RFID microchip. You know that they're always going to create these new crises. Some created artificially and some just natural crises from the Heavenly Father. All right? And as we move closer to this man putting a cap on his New World Order, expect the biggest crisis to happen, which is that World War III-like event. Now, I know the United States don't think they could be beaten, because right now it seems like they can. But that's the pride of their heart. That's deceived them. They left themselves in their brigandine, in their armory, all right? They rule air-to-air warfare, land-to-air warfare. The U.S. military makes up 64% of the world's army. So they don't really care what these other nations are doing, all right? Because they know that they have superiority. But that was given to them by the Heavenly Father. Romans 9:17, the Most High built up America to be one of the largest economy, the largest military, all this stuff, to ultimately get all its allies turn its back on it and destroy it. But getting back to the topic at hand, yeah, women are going to be humble in these particular days that are coming. If you look at women in the Eastern cultures, such as Japan or the Middle East, they chase men. They do things, they cook, they clean, all right? Because over there, men don't put them on a pedestal, you know? They have other things to do. And here in the Western culture, they get put on a pedestal, they have and own everything. They could do everything you could do or even better. The black woman is graduating on the all-time high. That's done deliberately to break up the black family, okay? And give them welfare to get the black man out the house and destroy the family structure as well. So women get to be picky because they're privileged, right? But in those other particular societies where they're not, they do a lot more for you other than just sex. For the most part, when you get a woman in Western culture, you meet them, you dine them, just all this, you just get some pussy at the end of the day. You know, to cook and clean is beneath them. You know, they see that as slavery. Which, look, technically speaking, women should be a slave unto their husband, just like we're slaves unto the Lord. That's scriptural. The head of the man is your Lord, and the head of the Lord is the Most High. And then the head of the woman is the man. This is order. This is structure. This is how things. This is how the Most High wanted things to be. Genesis, the 3rd chapter. All right, that the man should rule over the husband. This show might get flagged for what I'm saying. That's how sensitive it is to speak about this topic, and they know this. This is to create confusion. All right, this is done by design, but it's going to come to an end. So the few select women out there that actually do things for their woman, that's not necessarily even in the truth, the Most High is going to bless you, man, if you're doing it unto a righteous man, you know? And to the sisters that believe and treat their man right and their man is not in the truth, the Most High is going to bless both of y'all, because you're doing order. Remember, rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and most women rebel against this particular order. That's like most women in America are going to be wiped out, man, in this coming world's war. But prior to that happening, pursuant to the book of Isaiah, the 4th chapter, and the 1st verse, reality is going to kick in. Reality is going to kick in, and that pride is going to be humbled, right? Reality is going to say, I just tried to punch this guy. I'm 135 pounds. He's 220 pounds, and he didn't fly through the window like I saw in a movie. That's when reality is going to set in, that a man is physically superior to a woman. And a man thinks logically and not emotionally. And in that day, you're not going to be looking for, who's the most suavest, and, then I'll take you if you meet my height requirement, or, you got to be this, that, big, you got to know how to fucking this, that, and the third, and just, your financial bank account has to be, that's going to be out of the window. You're going to be looking for who the fuck can make you live through this situation. Because primarily, at its core, women are dependent creatures by nature. And that's just the truth of it. Why would a woman ask you how much you make? Isn't that a dependent? When a man gets a woman, a man is not concerned about how much a woman makes or what's her job. Because he's thinking in his mind, I already know how to fend for myself. They're thinking, how can we join together and we can live together and we could join bank accounts together? That's a dependent mindset. So that nature is still in them. Even though they say that they're independent, but when they get a man, they immediately want to merge everything together, right? You don't meet somebody. You don't meet you get a best friend as a male. Yo, man, let's merge our bank accounts, bro. You don't say no shit like that. You find out for yourself, man. So things like that, we're gonna see more of we go towards the future and trust. All these guys, all these brothers that had women. Trust me, you see signs of them already hitting you up. What's going on? What do you think of this? Because they knew what you were into, and they seeing things come to pass. I'm pretty sure when Donald Trump talked about that chip, oh shit, he was mentioning that chip. In the affliction they shall seek you early. So if that's just the brothers here, imagine when this thing get even worse. When this thing get even crazier. I'm talking about like the road type situation, man. True famine, not artificial, some shit that Esau said, you can only buy this much, when in reality, it's in a high demand. And they have the supply, but you're shortening the supply deliberately. Sweden didn't shut down their economy, they're fine. Japan didn't shut down their economy, they're fine. A lot of these different states that's not overreacting like Florida, they're fine. It's this artificially created situation here in New York, California, all right, that are crippling the have-nots and increasing the haves on purpose. And it's in their goal to stress this out as much as they can, get as much cash as they can out of this particular situation, man. And when they've bled you, let's reopen the economy now, Here's the crumbs. You can have the crumbs. After they eat, drink all the fucking meat and everything. Oh, here's the crumbs now. Open the shit back up. Now you're stuck. Like a majority of people are gonna be with a new loan that you didn't even want. A new loan that you didn't ask for. But trust, you're gonna get it, man. Yeah, so look, man. We're not just doom and gloom. We're just the truth. What did Ezekiel say? Lamentation, mournings, and woes. Okay, so that's what we teach. Lamentation, mournings, and woes. If things are going to get better, we'll teach that. Alright? If the ultimate end goal for America was to be here forever, we'll teach that. But the ultimate end goal for America is not that. Alright? You're going to have a point where, okay, the scriptures say they're going to live deliciously off of her. They still living deliciously off of her. And the Most High is going to be doing that for a while. These nations right now are thirsty for the dollar because their currency is not shit. The ruble is down 30%. All these other nations' currency are thirsty right now, so dying for the U.S. dollar. So they still look at America to make all types of money off America. That America has the number one largest economy in the world, right? So they looking for that. They still eating off this particular kingdom here. But that's the Mossad making it frothy. That's the Mossad building up America. They're building up their military, building up. Just the Mossad is working. That when that destruction comes, they're gonna feel it in their heart, like holy shit, like like oh, you know what I'm saying? You ever got some news? You just fuck, That's how it's gonna be when this place get wiped the hell off the map. Revelations the 18th chapter. They're gonna be wild and cry like, oh fuck, had all these investments. Don't you know that China invests? You got this one dude that managed China's portfolio, part of China, what he did, and it was a $3 trillion portfolio. And a lot of that investment is in America. Because don't get it twisted. Yes, China owes U.S. debt, but not a lot, relatively speaking. Heck, the United States owns Chinese debt. So they feeding off this bitch still. And I know they're saying you can't freeze this shit for 18 months or 2 years because what? Because these people got to eat off this shit. But in that period, in that gap that they're freezing it, a lot of people are going to suffer, man. While the rich don't have to suffer. But there's going to come a time when, look, they're going to get this. And that time is going to happen after this World War III, because the goal of the elites is to shrink the population down to 500 million. The quickest way to shrink a population is war. It's the most beneficial, profitable way to kill a whole bunch of people, make a shit ton of money, and do it in a relatively short time span. All right? They're saying that this illness could kill 250,000 people. Look, when U.S. went to war with Iraq, 2 million, just so-called Iraqis, 2 million of them dropped dead. Meanwhile, you have companies like Lockheed Martin, Halliburton, Dick Cheney backed companies making a shit ton of money. That's how come when I said that show, like in that lesson, speaking about some of these companies that are prophetic, like Boeing, for example, when everybody, Boeing's gonna go down, no way, it's bankrupt. My mom's an investor. She goes into this is her field, and I'm like, look, this is not gonna happen. This is a prophetic. What made me say that was a prophetic company? Well, they make missiles. They don't just make airplanes, they make missiles. So they have a role to play in prophecy. They're gonna keep making ICBMs. Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Halliburton, Texatron. All these different companies are gonna get burned up here in America. But until then, they're going to have to keep doing what they have to do, because they have to build up this more advanced missile systems till the Mossad deems fit to make them not really push the button, but turn those keys rather. All right? And the next thing that they're working on heavy is autonomous vehicles, man. They already have autonomous helicopters, autonomous warships. They had the, I believe it was Northrop Grumman LXB 47 or something like that, or 47B. Pretty much it was an autonomous drone that was able to take off from an aircraft carrier and land. And how do they do that? Through radio frequency. That's how come military technology is used for a number of years, then it gets passed down to you like 40 years later. All right? They use these particular frequencies to start these drones up. And ultimately, the end-all goal is they want to make dogfighting drones, man. They're just completely pussy way of fighting a war, but that's the way that they're going, man. Different autonomous vehicles out there using radio waves, man. So they're gonna have these, just like how you see light posts set up, they're gonna have these small cell towers set up, man. Because what? Because these are the frequency. The higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. So they're going on the higher frequency with the 5th generation network, all right, which means it's going to be a shorter frequency. So to maintain that connection, they're going to have small cell towers, man. So when you're driving around these autonomous vehicles, or you have a true 5G phone. A lot of these phones say 5G, they're not even 5G yet. All right, when you truly have a 5th generation phone in your hand that's connected to these particular cell towers, when you drop one connection here, you're going to pick it right back up. Smart houses, smart homes, smart cities. This is the idea of the so-called white man. This is what he wants, man. This is stuff that he propagates, which ultimately that will lead to total control. All right? A digital currency. All right? That's something that they're moving towards. That's also in the scriptures because look, right now the so-called white man can say no more dollars. And the society will still go because most people are cashless anyways, man. The reason they want to get rid of cash is because, look, I could spend my cash right now. I could buy something off of you and the government can't track it. Right? Think of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not even really cash. It's an asset. It's a digital asset. Ponzi scheme, right? But you can't track transactions. So there's no way that's going to be the way of the future. People think Bitcoin is going to be the way of the future. No. Blockchain technology will be. But it's going to be backed by the U.S. government and these other particular banks, man. And with blockchain technology, now you can't do any transaction in private. None. You know? Because the government will know every single transaction you make. If you pay for something in dollars, that's the reason people could buy drugs and all these type of shit, man. Because they have cash. Now you might, I don't know, maybe somebody might make some backdoor digital currency. The CIA might use it because the CIA do a lot of drug deals in cash. Right now they're probably using Bitcoin because they don't have to report anything, you know. So there will be some form of illegal crypto digital currency out there. I don't know what it might be. Some people say it might be the Ripple that the government might use, while other people might use this, that, you know. So people are going to definitely find ways to make crypto encrypted digital currency that they can later transfer back into a currency that is currently being used. Okay? But the government ultimately is going to come up with their own digital dollar to trace every single transaction you make. And they're going to know every single way you go if you take that RFID microchip, because that radio frequency tower is going to be everywhere. You know? That's the future that they envision. That's their enlightened utopia. And when they're about to put the capstone on that shit, that's when the Mossad is going to turn up, man. You ever try to have your lunch at 12 o'clock and 11:59 some shit pop up? That's pretty much what's going to happen. They're going to be looking at the clock like, yo, I'm about to eat, 12 o'clock. As soon as 11:59 hit, intervention, man. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Salutations to the whole for the elect out there. You Akim, Tasidakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.